In the morning when I rise, give me Jesus.
Good morning. Folks, God is love and God loves you. That's not just some nice religious idea. That is a reality. Let me ask you this. Have you ever been loved? Well, the true answer is, unless you've been loved by God, then you just think you've been loved because God is love. And so the powerful love, the love that will change a person from the inside out, is the love of God. And that's the only love that will. If you haven't experienced his love this Easter season, even today as we remember it, it was the Friday, as he is crucified, he stays on the cross. Oh, he was unjustly arrested. He was mocked. He was terribly, unfairly abused and eventually killed because he loves you. He could have stopped any of that anytime along the way, but he didn't because he loves you. So believe the love of God for you and receive it this Easter season. Well, today we're going to look a little bit more at the cross. We're in Mark chapter 15, and I'm going to read verses 33 through 39. They say this: When the sixth hour came, darkness fell over the whole land until the ninth hour. At the ninth hour, Jesus cried out a loud voice, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani, which is translated, my, why have you forsaken me? Now, I have heard a whole lot of theology about that, and I'm not sure what it is, but here's what I do know. When the sin of the world was dumped on Jesus, God didn't like the picture of Jesus at that moment. Verse 35, when some of the bystanders heard it, they began saying, behold, he is calling for Elijah. Someone ran and filled a sponge with sour wine, and he put it on a reed and gave him a drink, saying, let us see whether Elijah will come to take him down. And Jesus uttered a loud cry. John tells us that last utterance was, it is finished. A loud cry, and then he breathed his last. Look at this. The veil of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. Folks, that's the message of the cross. See, the temple had three areas. It was the outer court, where people could come and bring their sacrifices, the inner court, where the sacrifices were performed and blood was poured out to cover sin, and that was done by the priests and the priests only. And then the Holy of Holies, the third inner court, that's where God dwelled, and no one went in there except the high priest one time a year to sprinkle blood on the mercy seat for the sake of Israel for the whole year. There was a big veil that separated the Holy of Holies from the rest of the temple because God was in there and no one could be in his presence and survive. But look at this. When Jesus was crucified, the whole veil was torn open. Now we can freely come into the presence of God because sin is no longer an issue. It was laid on Jesus at the cross. So that veil is gone. And not only are we to come and visit God, we're to come dwell with him, that he would dwell with us. And we would be united with him in every step that we take. That veil being gone is huge, and that is the message of the cross. Now, verse 39, when the centurion who was standing right in front of Jesus saw the way that he breathed his last, that centurion said, truly, this man was indeed the Son of God. Yes, he was. Now, get a hold of this. Because of Easter, he's risen. And so not only was he the Son of God, he is the Son of God. He's alive today. I know that because he's alive in me. And so God bless you as he is alive in you, you believing believer. Come be with us again tomorrow. We'll talk some more about what went on Easter time back 2,000 years ago. I'll see you tomorrow.
Give me Jesus. Give me Jesus.